going everyone? LeoBlade13 here, welcoming you back to another Dragoborne Let's Talk video. So today I want to discuss some of the double rares that we're going to be getting on November 10th, which I am really excited for. So I did break these into two parts, so we're going to talk about 3 in this video, and then 3 in a video probably the following Friday, right before the pre-release, just to give you guys something to look forward to. So first up, we're going to be talking about Hearst of the Infernal Blades. She is a 3-drop creature with 2 attack, 4 endurance, so she is the lowest double rare cost card that we have seen. Eleanor was a 4, which I believe was the lowest until this card came out, or until this card does come out, but her ability is pretty awesome. So it's when this creature attacks, reveal the top card of your deck, and this creature gets plus X plus 0 for this turn, where X is the cost of the revealed creature, or of the revealed card plus 1. If the revealed card is a cost 2 or less creature, you may summon it. If you did not summon it, put it on the bottom of your deck. So, it does allow you to kind of scry, I believe that's the word in Magic, so you can look at the top card of your deck, put it on the bottom or top so that you know what you're drawing on the following turn. It does allow you to summon a 2 or less cost creature, which I think is awesome. That's Carefree Orc, Goblin Madcap, and I think this card would work really well in like a red-yellow deck where you can summon Darions and Sanctuary Enforcers, and yeah, just some really cool stuff like that. The one downside is that it can't summon 3 or less, because then you could summon Gloss, you could summon Teriel, and you also can't play spells, so no Southern Eruptions from her, and can't think of any other low-cost spells. All Things Blessing, but that one really doesn't see play. But overall, I do really like this card. I'm not too worried about the plus X plus 0, but I mean, it might matter if you're attacking a Drago Shield, and it is just the cost of the revealed card plus 1. So even if you do reveal a spell card for that effect, you still get the boost. So if you did reveal Sudden Eruption, she would go up to a 5/4 for the turn. But Sudden Eruption wouldn't be able to be played, so you could put it on the top or bottom of your deck. But overall, I do think this is a really awesome card, and it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. I think it's definitely a 4 of if you build a deck around this card. I don't know if any less would work. I think this card would need a specific deck for it. I don't think it can just be splashed into anything, such as Vylon or Fafnir can be splashed into almost anything that runs red. Well, at least Vylon needs more mono red, but no matter what kind of build it is, he always works. But anyways, moving on to the next card, we've got Kazak the Hellbent. So this is the double rare from the trial deck, so that is the only way to get him. You will get a foil and a non-foil like all the other trial decks, and he is a 5-drop with 5 attack and 6 endurance. So his ability is Siphon 3. Choose one of your other creatures, and it gets +3/+3 for this turn. At the end of the turn, destroy it and put it at the fort it was at in rest. So, I'm not quite sure what that ability is for, the destroying it and putting it in rest, because if it attacks, it's already going to be in rest, and with it getting +3/+3, I'm sure it's going to be attacking, because why wouldn't you? And then it does also note that it does not trigger when this creature is summoned ability. So Bloody Baroness would not trigger again when she is summoned to the field. However, cards that trigger when they're destroyed will still activate. So the one black card that we took a look at earlier, when it's destroyed, both players discard a card, that would still trigger, which is kind of awesome. So you can kind of use this to your advantage, maybe destroy Goblin Madcaps. But his second ability is when he is Black Drago Crossed. It is when this creature's attack deals damage to a creature or fort, draw a card for each of your creatures with total attack and endurance 8 or above. If you drew a card, discard a card from your hand. So, at most, if you use both of his abilities, you'll be drawing 2 cards, because he counts since he has a total of 11, and then the other creature counts since it gets +3/+3, so as long as it's not a 0/1 creature, it will be hitting the 8 mark. But overall, I'm not too fond of this card. I think Black definitely needs to work on their Trial Deck cards, because Lady Valistria was just kind of meh, and this card fits the same category. But overall, it's definitely an interesting card, and I would love to see someone use it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But now the card that we have all been waiting for, the End of Tides. This card is fantastic. It's a 10-drop, which doesn't matter, with 10 attack and 10 endurance. So the first ability is when this creature is summoned, if it was not summoned by the ability of Vessel of the End, destroy it. So it can only be summoned in that fashion, which I'm definitely okay with. It does require you to have both Vessel of the End and the End of Tides in your hand, which is going to be tricky to fulfill, and you also need 8 machines in your graveyard. So it is fairly simple to summon, but I think having them in your hand simultaneously is what's going to be the problem, especially in this upcoming meta where everyone is going to be forcing you to discard. So his first ability is this creature attacks all opposing forts in one attack, which is kind of insane. So it can break all 3 Drago shields at the same time. It can take out 3 different barriers at the same time, but at the same time, it's also susceptible to cards like Death Trap, because he's attacking all 3 forts, and Death Trap reads when this fort is attacked, so it can die to stuff like that. I believe Darion can also stop it, because it says when this creature's attack, or when a creature attacks this fort, you can destroy Darion to stop the attack. I don't know if it stops the attack on the other 2 forts that Darion isn't at. I'm assuming that it is, because it stops this creature's attack. But someone let me know down below whether that does work or not. But then his other ability is this creature's attack can be blocked by any number of opposing creatures. So he can be blocked by all 6 of your creatures if you want. It doesn't limit it at all. So you just need to block with creatures that have attack that add up to 10, and you'll be able to destroy it. But of course that does leave your field quite open, because it'll probably take 3 to 4 creatures to do that, unless you have some massive cards on the field. But I do like how they did kind of counteract this card within this card's broken effect. So I do really like that. But then he also has a blue Drago Cross ability, which is when this creature attacks, put 3 cards from the top of your deck into your discard pile, and for each machine put into your discard pile, choose an opposing creature and rest it. So you're potentially resting 3 creatures right there. So I think Darion and Death Trap are going to be really big in stopping this card. Because even if Darion's rested, he can still destroy himself. But this is definitely an amazing card, and I really expect to see blue-green X machines running around, at least for the first couple weeks, and then after that, it'll kind of determine whether or not it's good or not. But we do have the World Championships, I believe, or National Championships, some really high-scale tournament the following week after Oath of Blood comes out. So I would really like to see this deck at least top of that tournament. And speaking of that, I'll try to be covering that, seeing what information I can gather, and try to bring you guys videos regarding that tournament. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought of these cards down below, and as always, be sure to check out Dragoracle and the Facebook page, as well as my Twitter. Links to all 3 are down there, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. But as always, thanks for watching.